Hello guys and welcome back to episode 2 of our RTG career mode with Sheffield United on EAFC 24. We're returning today off the back of our crazy opening day victory over Roy Hodgson's Crystal Palace side with 3 more games in the Premier League, our first round tie in the Carabao Cup against Cheltenham Town of League 1 and transfer deadline day as we look to make one more signing to bolster our squad. Lots to get through today, so let's jump straight into the first game of today's episode away at the City Ground as we take on Nottingham Forest, looking to pick up another 3 points. Alright then guys, here we are at the City Ground, looking to build on that performance on the opening day as I mentioned earlier. We're going to jump straight into this. Forest also lining up in a similar system to us with 5 at the back in a counter-attacking system. Elanga will go short to Matondo, out to the edge of the box to Murillo. Forest looking to work their way inside. This great build up. Emmanuel Dennis, big save by Wes Foderingham. So guys, I just wanted to say a massive thank you for all the support on the first episode. You guys seem to really love the sort of introductory episode of the series. Got lots of lovely comments, so thank you to everyone who did drop a like or a comment on the video. It really does mean a lot, and I'm, as I've said, I'm really looking forward to cracking on with this series and hopefully taking Sheffield United to the top. Forest looking to create something here down this left-hand side. It's into new signing Sangare, who gets the shot in, and again, Foderingham, who's been the busier of the 2 keepers. Fuck me, they've made Steve Cooper even uglier than he is. That really is something special. Going forward in this save, I definitely want us to play more of a, like a passing possession-based game, but as you've just seen there, we don't really have the players for it at the moment, so I'm quite happy on this counter-attacking setup for the time being, at least until I'm able to bring in some more players that suit my play style and we can start to evolve this team, as again Foderingham for the 3rd time in this first half having to be called into action to keep the score at 0-0. Forest definitely been the better side so far. Of course, it was really in the second half where we came alive against Palace, so looking to create our first chance of the game here. We've not really got anything on. The ball's into Ollie McBurney, round the corner to Norwood, who scored our first goal of the season. Great ball in, and Harmer's at the back post to nod home to give Sheffield United the lead again. Our first attack of the game just before the half-time whistle, and Gustavo Harmer scores his first goal of the season. Norwood involved down the right, just floats it into the back stick. Harmer away from his man, and the Blades lead. We were dangerous from set pieces on match day 1. Norwood swings it into the near post. Vinny Souza, what a header. Corner for Forest, swung into the near post. Robinson flicks away and cleared by Hackney. Murillo now on the edge. Forest pushing, probing, and Foderingham gets there again. We are holding on. Cleared only as far as Murillo. Forest desperate for that equaliser. Opens up for Dominguez, who finesses it wide of the post. What a chance. Into stoppage time. Anel down the left with some defending to do. Up against Aina. Round him. Ball from the big Bosnian. Dominguez. Origi. Pulled back. Surely not. The shot is wide, and that will do it. It's 2 wins in 2 for the Blades. We couldn't have dreamt up a better start. And that is a hard-fought victory on the road, away at the City Ground. On the road again here as we take on Cheltenham Town in the first round of the Carabao Cup. We've made 11 changes to our lineup for this game, with it not being a priority. It would be nice to go on a little cup run, and I still expect us to win against lower league opposition. Of course, our main focus this year is survival in the Premier League, so the Carabao Cup is our 3rd biggest priority. As McAtee, Olejinka is over it. Oh, it's a cracker, and it's off the woodwork. And Cheltenham Town nearly back on level terms. Now we look to come the other way with Bogle. Did have a comment on episode 1 saying that Bogle should be starting for us, and he's definitely my long-term successor for Baldock. But at the moment, I'm quite happy with Baldock. He's not put a foot wrong, and I quite like having that experience on that side of the pitch. Koulibaly out to Ben Osborne, another player with a lot of experience. Great ball in, and Jebison heads home. Another man taking his opportunity. McAtee swings the ball in, looking for Trusty. Might fall to Osborne. Oh, it's found its way in. Trusty bringing it forward as Jayden Bogle down the right. Cuts back onto his left peg. Swings it in. Jefferson. It's 4. What a performance from Sheffield United. It's 3 wins on the bounce. Back-to-back clean sheets. Let's go and find out who we'll face in the second round of the Carabao Cup. So I believe the draw for the next round of the Cup will be made on this Thursday. So we'll go and take a quick look at who it is we will face in the Carabao Cup third round. It's Birmingham City, so another team in the English Football League down in the Championship, Birmingham City. I fancy our chances of making it through and potentially going on a bit of a cup run. We'll take that. So before we head into this next game against Manchester City in the league, I saw a comment on episode 1 with some transfer suggestions. One of those being Serhou Guirassy from VfB Stuttgart, who's been absolutely smashing it in real life in the Bundesliga. I really like this signing. I'd love to bring him in as our sort of McBurney replacement, but I'm not sure we're going to have enough money, so I'm going to try my hardest to get him in. If not, we just about have enough time to try again on transfer deadline day. Let's see if we can bring Guirassy in. So I'm just looking around to see if we've got any players that we could potentially include in the deal. I'm not sure we really do have a lot at our disposal, so I'm not sure if we're going to be able to pull this one off. They want 13 million. Going to have to be really stingy with every penny that we have. And they're going to take some time and get back to us. So we'll see what happens with that Guirassy deal. It's very touch and go at the moment as to whether we'll get that across the line. So whilst we wait to hear back from Stuttgart, we have got this big game against Manchester City. I'll be honest, these aren't the sort of games that I look at and expect us to get any points out of. But saying that, we are currently sat in 6th in the Premier League. And you may see that we don't see Manchester City. And that's because they're down in 13th place. They've lost already this year. And on the right-hand side, you can see it was on the opening day away at Turf Moor, but I'm expecting this to be a much harder game. If we get anything from this, it'll be an absolute miracle. So we are of course at home for this fixture, and Sheffield United were really unlucky not to get a result in real life. Obviously it was Jayden Bogle, who we mentioned in that previous game in the Cup, who scored late on to draw Sheffield United back on level terms, but Rodri scored that absolute wonder goal to snatch the 3 points for Man City. If I can get a point out of this myself, I'll be absolutely buzzing with that. I'm not expecting anything, so let's see how we get on. We have won our first 2, but this is going to be a different test. Fiorini into Foden, shot comes in and Fotheringham makes a good stop to deny the Englishman. Man City corner with De Bruyne over it. Swings it into the near post. And it might fall for Erling Haaland. And again, Fotheringham's there. Where would we be without this man? Slated him a little bit in the opener against Crystal Palace, but he's been brilliant ever since then. And offside? Yes, the flag is up. A let off. Don't give him a sniff. Good football. Foden into Erling Haaland. Scott comes in again, and some scrappy defending. Well, a couple of chances for Pep Guardiola's side, but all in all, we kept them relatively quiet. A very strong first half performance from the Blades, as it was in real life, as we look to keep Pep's side at bay. Edge of the box for De Bruyne, and Fotheringham again at full stretch puts it behind for the Man City corner. They're starting to probe as Rodri enters the field. That should be Fotheringham's and is, but it's only a punch away. Rodri will pick it up. Gvardiol. Sorry, it was Ruben Diaz who had the effort, which Fotheringham tipped behind. Foden's corner in is poor and should be cleared, but Robinson can't clear his lines. Haaland, his effort is blocked, and eventually it's cleared. It's all one-way traffic now. Corner for the champions. De Bruyne swings it in. This one's better. Rodri's under it and it's off the line. Rodri again. Fotheringham. What's going on, Rodri? And it's a penalty. Oh, it was a scramble. And I think it's Anel who's given it away. Fotheringham should have just claimed the ball, and it's Well, it's a bit dubious. It's off the ball. I need to take a proper look at that. When this header comes in from Rodri, he's just got to catch that. It's just straight down his throat. He parries it up in the air. Bernardo brings it down. That one could have potentially been a penalty. Rodri's effort is blocked. And, I mean, that's really soft, isn't it? As Anel makes the block from Rodri's effort, he sort of follows through into Bernardo. There's not a lot in that for me. But City have the penalty. It will be Erling Haaland, who missed in real life. The Norwegian sends Fotheringham the wrong way. Well, VAR had a look and said that it wasn't a clear and obvious error. And Erling Haaland, of course, dispatches the penalty. And now we have a lot of hard work to do if we're to get back into this. We've defended really well in most parts of the game, but it just got a little bit scrappy there. Foden, gaps starting to appear now. De Bruyne, brilliant ball. Haaland, I'm not sure where Fotheringham's going there, but Erling Haaland makes it 2, and that will be the points in the bag for the champions. Bogle picks up the loose ball. Harmer waits for Jadon Bogle. To the byline, pulls it back to Hackney. It's a brilliant save. Still alive potentially. Jebison loses out, and I think that will just about do it. Ortega preserves the clean sheet. Hackney denied at the end, but as I mentioned before the game, it's a result that we expect. It was a very good effort. We held out until I think the 67th minute, when that dubious penalty was awarded. And I mean, you just can't stop this man, Erling Haaland. So our transfer offer for Guirassy has been turned down. I'm not really sure that we have anyone else we could potentially include in a swap deal. I don't think we're gonna quite have enough money to push this one through. Stuttgart not budging. I think even if that was accepted, we wouldn't have enough. We're gonna have to walk away, unfortunately. So Guirassy looks like it's not gonna happen. I'll keep him in mind come January and potentially next summer as well. Just had an offer here from Bournemouth for Daniel Jebison. But he is not going anywhere. With the start that he's made, I'm not surprised that there is interest, but we want to keep hold of this young man. He could potentially, with dynamic potential, grow into a real danger for us. We've made it to transfer deadline day. We've still got, what, around 9 million in the budget? Yeah, just under 9.75 million in the budget, but Guirassy was my main target. I don't really want to settle for someone who's not my top target. So I'm thinking of potentially just keeping that money in the coffers for now. We'll maybe revisit Guirassy come January. One thing that we do need to be aware of as well, guys, with the finances is we've got all these players out of contract come the end of the season. I think that a few of these guys could potentially leave on a free next summer. Obviously, Chris Basham is retiring, but there's a lot of young players in here that I don't really want to see leave. So we need to start offering some contracts out and get these players tied down. So I think I might crack on with that now. So the first man to sign a new deal is Wes Fotheringham, who actually just came to me and asked for a new contract. He signed a new 1-year deal. He's been very important for us in these opening stages of the season. So Fotheringham, on the same wage, signs a new 1-year deal. And this is an important one for me. Jadon Bogle signing a new 4-year deal. He's already grown a rating despite not featuring too heavily from the start in the Premier League. He signed, like I say, a 4-year deal on the same wage of 18,000 a week. As I mentioned, he is definitely going to be our starting wing-back moving forward. So a couple of our more experienced players have signed new deals, starting with the captain, John Egan, who signs a 1-year extension. Similarly, Ollie Norwood has also penned a new 1-year deal, which will see his contract now expire at the end of next season. George Baldock joins Egan and Ollie Norwood by signing a 1-year deal, which will also take his contract through to the end of next year. And regular first teamers Max Lowe and Ollie McBurney have also both signed 3-year extensions at the club. We've also just handed out a lot of long-term contracts for a few of the younger players, so starting with Ismaila Koulibaly, Daniel Jebison, Antoine Hackford, and Will Asula have all signed 4-year deals, whilst Boyaba, Sariki, Amisa and Brooks have all signed 3-year extensions with the club. So that ties all of their them down to longer term deals. So with the contracts now sorted, we definitely wouldn't have had enough money to sign Guirassy. That leaves 8.8 million in the budget, which I think I'm going to save for January. I'm quite happy with the signings of Greaves and Hackney, who have both impressed so far. So yeah, we're going to leave that money in the budget come January. Keep leaving your suggestions in the comments, as you've seen with Guirassy. I really did like that one, so if you've got any more recommendations, drop them down in the comments and I'll add them to the shortlist for January. So guys, with just an hour left on deadline day, I've been trying to shift on a few of our youngsters out on loan. Unfortunately, we've had a few deals fall through, and I think we're going to run out of time on a few of the others. But Femi Sariki is heading out to Turkey on a 2-year deal. As I mentioned, there's a few that look like they're not going to go through. So we were hoping to get Andre Brooks out on loan, Boyaba as well, and most importantly, Antoine Hackford. But it looks as if all of these are not going to go through. So that looks as if it will do it for transfer deadline day. It's been a quiet one for us, but we're keeping that money locked away for potentially January or next summer. As I say, a couple of loan deals which are going to fall through is rather unfortunate. But back to matters in the Premier League. So guys, before we head into this fourth and final game of the episode against Everton, you can see we've got our next scouting reports from our 2 scouts out in England and Scotland. Doesn't seem to be anyone so far, which is a shame. Although Patrick Nicholson looks like he could be a decent player. Do you know what? We're gonna sign him to the academy, the first man to make the jump. Connor Manning looks like he could have some decent potential, but he's very low rated. We'll sign him up to the academy as well. As for Frankie Paul, again, Logan Stewart maybe not as good as we first thought. Barry Cochran, no, not going to make it. Reece Watt as well, also probably not great despite the high overall, though we'll continue scouting him for a little bit longer. And Kirk Stewart is going to be rejected. So not much from Scotland yet. 2 players do make it into the academy, so let's take a quick look at them. So Patrick Nicholson does actually look like he could be a decent fullback. Got some pretty good stats already. Connor Manning, potentially we might look to change his position because at 48 overall, it doesn't look great. Patrick Nicholson, as I say, looks like he could be a very, very good fullback. So then guys, to close out the episode, it is Everton at Bramall Lane. We've been very lucky to have a lot of home fixtures to kick off the season. They sit just below us in the league with 2 wins from their first 3 games. So again, this is the sort of game that I'm looking at trying to pick up some points. I'll take a point, but I'd love all 3. So this game was a bit of a cracker in real life. It finished 2-2. It was a bit topsy-turvy. If we do get a game like that today, then, I mean, I won't necessarily mind. I said I'd take a point, and it would be an absolute cracker. Here's Beto looking to storm through the middle. So I'm actually just recording this episode as Sheffield United are playing. The scoreline currently reads Sheffield United 0, Newcastle 7. So not very good reading, and I'm hoping for better when we face the Toon in the next episode. First chance there as McBurney has his header saved comfortably by Pickford. Coleman into Zeballos, who's dangerous, the young Argentine, into the penalty area. Zeballos into Beto, and what a save by Wes Foderingham, marking that contract extension with a big save there and looking to keep his clean sheet intact. Norwood rolled into Baldock, who's been a threat down this right hand side. Nobody to hit in the middle. Still George Baldock forces the save out of Jordan Pickford. No one to pick out in the middle, so went for it alone. So second half begins here, and there's been chances for both sides. I'd say we've maybe just about edged it, and we look really dangerous attacking down our right hand side. Baldock still getting the nod over Jayden Bogle, and that's because he's continually a threat down that side. Here's Gustavo Harmer looking to create a yard. Lovely feet and runs into trouble. Still Zeballos swings it in and it's cleared. He's been the danger man for the Toffees, and space for Dele Alli on the edge, ghosting into the area. Oh, it's just wide, and we're calling on that man again. Daniel Jefferson coming off the bench. Can he make the difference? McAtee also coming on for his first minutes in the Premier League. Corners flicked on, not held by Pickford, and at the second time of asking, gathers the loose ball. Still on out Danjuma. Gomez. Players in support. Look at all the space. And Onana has probably just nicked it for the Toffees. Beto, Everton looking to kill the game off, but Egan steps in now. Archer into Jefferson, back to Cameron Archer, in behind the Everton defence. Cameron Archer to level it! It's magical from Sheffield United again. Cameron Archer with his second Premier League goal of the season. All Everton had to do was keep the ball, and Egan won it back. Archer comes inside and picks out the top corner. And we've done it at the death once again. Well, you can see Jordan Pickford not happy, but what an important goal for the Blades. It would have been back-to-back defeats in the league. But that point means that after our first 4 games with just 1 defeat, it's been a really, really good start to life back in the Premier League. It ends here at Bramall Lane with 2 late goals. Sheffield United 1, Everton 1. So guys, that is where we will leave it for episode 2 of our Sheffield United RTG. We are the kings of the late goal, and you can see that after 4 games we sit in 9th place with 7 points on the board. Already 5 clear of the relegation zone. It's been a really positive start from the Blades. I couldn't really have asked for much more. Arsenal, the only team with a 100% record, and Spurs also in the top 4, who we face next at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Guys, thank you so much for the support on this series. You lot have been absolutely amazing so far, and I really hope you are excited for the rest of the series. I'll catch you in the next episode very soon, guys, and peace.